Hi, I'm Christine Sutherland. Welcome to episode 1 of Wheelers of the North with Ed and Rebecca Pym. They are going to show you the wonderful touch that they have for each other, hands-on for Ed's head, neck, shoulders, and especially, I won't tell you about that, I'll let Rebecca tell you. And then we're showing Ed how to be able to massage Rebecca from his chair. You'll love their rapport for each other, so come along and let's go.
We are Wheelers of the North.
Welcome everybody to Wheelers of the North with myself, Christine Sutherland, and Ed and Rebecca Pym, who are wonderful residents of Fort St. John. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Today we're going to show you not only wheeling in the north, but massaging from the wheelchair for family and friends. So I'm going to be teaching Ed how to rub Rebecca the right way. And Rebecca has also a bit of an agenda that she would like to show how to massage the side of Ed that is most concerned with driving. But to begin with, we're going to be able to hear their story about how Ed got wheels underneath him, and we'll start with that. So Ed, can you tell us about how these wheels are underneath you? What's your story?
I guess sometime around 2009, I started having what I thought was back trouble. It was when we walked a lot, like we would walk 8-10 kilometers a day. And my foot was dropping. And so I went to Canadian doctors and none of them seemed to think there was a back problem. Then I went to, in 2010, I remember this because we went through Vancouver during the 2010 Olympics. I went to Phoenix in January and the doctors there at the Laser Spine Center said that it was a lower back problem, and so they did a surgery on my back in 2010, and that helped for a period of time, and then it seemed to progress again. And in 2011, I ended up going to UBC, to the neurology clinic at UBC, and Dr. Trabolzi is the guy I met there, and he's a neurologist, and he determined that it was MS or a form of MS. It only had affected my spine. It hadn't affected my optic nerves or my brain, only the spine. And by that time, I was walking with walking sticks. Like I was not on a scooter yet, but walking with walking sticks. And so he put me onto kind of an extreme treatment. It's not a prescribed treatment in most cases. It was a chemotherapy, and I did 5 months of chemotherapy with the hopes of it would stop the progression. And it did stop the progression, which was great. I moved from using walking sticks to using the scooter because what I found was with the walking sticks, I couldn't keep up with everybody. So no matter where we went, if we stopped at a restaurant, they'd be halfway through dinner by the time I got into the restaurant. So
isolating.
Yeah, it's very isolating, yeah. So we changed to using the scooter, and then since then there's really been no progression, which has been great. But I have had to adapt and change my life to using the scooter, adapt my vehicle. Had to change to using hand controls. Adapted the house, adapted my office. I was fortunate enough that I was in my industry. I was instrument mechanic in the field, and I had moved into management in the office. So fortunately, I was able to continue to do my job from, working from my desk. And being in a family business, that helped. Brothers were willing to make amends, because I know that lots of times people that are in wheelchairs, employers don't jump at the opportunity to spend thousands of dollars changing their office and setting it up. So being part of the business and being a family business or as a partner, that made it so we could adapt all of that. It's been a long journey adapting, to be honest.
So Ed, can you tell me, in the adaptation that you're talking about, what sort of physical aches and pains do you have in daily living?
I would say that for the most part, as I've said before, it's kind of head to toe. But when you're in a chair, you use your arms and shoulders a lot, like getting into the vehicle. You know, I pull up to the vehicle and then I grab the door and the steering wheel and pull myself into the vehicle. So by the end of the day, you know, my neck is quite sore, my shoulders are sore.
That keeps you staying strong, doesn't it?
Yeah, oh, it does. It helps for
That's
that
your
part.
workout.
Absolutely, yeah. That is, and staying active is, I would say, the most important part for me. I don't go to the gym or that sort of thing, but I do stay very active, going back and forth to work, going out for walks with Rebecca, so she's active. So we still do a lot of that.
I just have to get you in the pool.
Yes.
I'll work at that.
We've tried that.
Rebecca,
I have done
you-
the pool. My daughter was a lifeguard, so there was a period of time when I was going to the pool with her.
And would you wear a belt and then be able to use your arms for?
Yeah, I could still, yeah, there was definitely, I wore a belt some. For the most part of that time, I could still tread water. I would say now I would probably, like when we're in Kelowna, we go to the lake
Mhm.
and I put a life jacket on if I'm jumping in the water.
Yeah. You jump in the water.
Well, I
Do we have
roll
pictures of
roll
this?
in, kind of like
Do we have rolling in the water
Yeah.
pictures? Could we
Yeah.
please have some
I
of
just-
those?
I push them in.
kind of like a seal. I just kind of.
Any from last summer? I'll take any summers.
We have some, yeah,
Thank
of
you.
him in the water with the boys.
Thank you.
in Their life jackets, yes. we
Oh,
have
that's
them.
great. And then with driving, how is it that you can feel?
So with driving, especially if it's wintertime or if I'm not using cruise control, my left arm you're controlling the throttle with that hand all the time, and it
Yeah.
gets extremely tired in your forearm
In the elbow.
and elbow, yeah, kind of from elbow to the end of your fingers.
Yeah.
That gets extremely sore. So the left arm on that, shoulders are always from moving in and around. And then probably feet after that is the next worst one, because with not proper circulation from not exercising your calves,
Yeah.
and the feet by the end of the day, lots of times are swollen, they're very sore.
They swell up, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in terms of massaging from the chair, right away, I can see that there would be a pre-event, post-event sort of sports massage workout, because if I taught you, Rebecca, how to work on those arms so that especially that left was feeling like, yep, now I can just get on Rebecca's shoulders even better. And then afterwards, being able to do it, that puts in double positive reinforcement for
Yeah,
getting your shoulders rubbed a lot.
yeah, that's true.
I think that is the opposite of what I thought of doing, so thanks. We'll take that focus. And Rebecca, what about you? For, where else do you think he's got some aches and pains?
Hips, for sure.
Hips.
Yeah, lower back.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
at times for sure.
Just maybe from here to here. Your thighs don't ever hurt. You get a lot of rest.
Right.
His thighs are fine.
Yeah.
But that swimming would be good, just to keep it moving.
Yes,
Because,
it does for sure.
Because you don't know in terms of cures in our lifetime, and you just want everything ready,
Yeah.
To be into action. But you're so healthy. It's inspiring what you've done in terms of your lifestyle with this chair. Thank you.
Tried very hard to not let it change my life. Try to be an example for the boys.
Yeah, they watch what we do more than what we say, for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
And Rebecca, what about you for the dailies of domestic living and aches and pains? Like if you were looking forward to the part where I'm teaching Ed to massage you, what comes up? Like,
Probably just the same as everybody. My feet have been aching lots. I can run and do lots of exercise, and my shoulders, and that's about it.
top and bottom.
Top and bottom.
Mhm.
Yeah. As
And your knees. Right.
and my knees and my shoulders real bad, head to toe.
Those are the
Actually, yeah, I'm the same. The thighs are fine.
So those are the positive aches and pains of good living.
Yeah, yeah.
And this living room is perfect for watching that small television there and being able to have your feet in each other's lap at the same time so that you're working away and being able to, I call it Netflix massaging, but being a runner, and I know you're a cross-country skier.
Yeah.
I heard rumor, and so that is really great to have legs for both of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with Ed, I can show you also how to get at those hips.
Okay.
And that whether he's seated or extended and lying down.
Mhm.
And the same with Ed, we can line right up here and be able to get underneath your hips when you're face up.
Mhm.
Great. Well, we've got a good agenda, and we will zip our way through it. But I think we'll start with Ed's arms.
Okay.
So Ed, being a wheeling expert now, how many years is it?
2012 is when I've been full-time in the chair since
So more than
2012.
10 years.
Yes.
And for wheelers of the north, what is the difference between wheeling up here as opposed to down south?
The biggest difference is in the wintertime snow. Like if we're somewhere like Vancouver in the wintertime, I mean, it's only rain. So we pretty much can live our life and do what we need to. Here in the summer is wonderful. We have a great walking path. Like the Fort St. John community has walking paths everywhere. And we use them a lot. We have a beautiful downtown. We use that. We go downtown on Friday evenings and have dinner. But it really, probably from November to March, that doesn't happen in Fort St. John because it's just they do a great job of trying to keep the streets
Yeah,
and the sidewalks clear, but
yeah, the city's great.
yeah, but with a wheelchair, it just really is hard.
Yeah.
So the outdoor activities at home are very limited in the wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the other big challenge with just being on a wheelchair is people's homes. Like it definitely has changed
Our social life.
our social life. Yes, like it's
Very isolating.
it's isolating for sure. Going to restaurants, if you can meet somebody at a restaurant or at the Palm Sports Center, any community type place in all of Canada, I would say that I've been to, and probably most of the United States, restaurants, public places are quite accessible. I would say people's houses, for the most part, have stairs to go into them. So my son's house, he has a little ramp that he puts up, and somebody has to be there to kind of help push me in because it's not quite a perfect ramp.
I want a son like that. That's
Yes.
wonderful.
And then we have other friends who are great about, they have their gatherings in their shop versus their house.
Oh,
So,
oh,
I'd say we've got a few friends who change their gatherings according so that I can get to them. But, not everybody can do that. Not everybody has a spot that could be accessible.
and in the north, people have the biggest garages I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's like, let's put the tractor, the RV, the
Yeah.
trailer, and everything else in there, and maybe the odd truck and car.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, we've been to a lot of shop parties and thankful for having great friends like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's inspiring. Anything to add to that, Rebecca?
I don't know. Yeah, it's been hard because you do feel that there's things that you don't get included in, like group trips, because it's hard to navigate that with someone with a disability. So that part's been harder on me, probably.
Yeah, probably. Yes.
But, yeah, I mean, for the most part, many people do alter their, think of you when you're coming. I mean, there have been very different parts.
Are people interested in towing you in a sleigh for cross-country skiing? Because Rebecca's an avid cross-country skier.
We talked about
I
that.
started thinking very creatively from the Paralympics. When you think blind football and soccer, then all of a sudden you
Yes.
start thinking, well, yeah, in a sleigh, and why aren't there sleighs at Whiskey Jack?
Well, there is sleighs for babies, right? Like we had
Uh-huh.
Rebecca had sleighs when the boys were young. that she pulled them in.
I can't.
But I don't know for sure that she can pull 170.
No, but
I
that
know
would
it was
be a
weight.
fun activity if you had
Yeah,
2 and 3 of your friends, right?
yeah.
That would just be inspiring. We could do the Pims races.
Yes. And my daughter, her house has steps to the front, and what her husband does is just puts him on his back and packs him up the steps.
Oh,
But they're
yeah.
house, so not as good as the sleigh, but
And are they here?
they're in
Fort
Chilliwack.
Sim-
Yes,
Down at the coast.
yes,
Oh, that is perfect. You brought up those kids the right way.
yes. Yeah, they're all very helpful.
So is that 2 boys and a girl?
We have 3 boys and a girl.
Oh, lucky.
Yeah.
That's
The youngest is 16 and the oldest is 34.
great. And the massages that we're going to do today are definitely transferable. And we can send the family little clips, see if they can practice what their parents are doing.
Yes.
That would be a great way to spread the ripple effect. Okay, great. Well, let's get started. So, Blue will supervise.
Yes, it looks like.
And Rebecca, we're going to do a tandem massage. So to start with, we're going to be 2 hands on his hands.
Okay.
So we've got them, so they're across his hands. And that way we're going to push up. And I would take a stance where you've got 1 foot behind, 1 foot pointing forward. And that way we can lean the pressure of our body weight onto our hands. We're coming right up the arm, go towards the front of the shoulder, wrap around the back. And then we're going to split our hands and without pressure, come all the way down to his hands and fingers. And again, we're going to do this 3 times. Let those wonderful nails just wrap right around. Yep, push up to the front and then around. That stretches the pectoralis out and then glide back. And the idea is that we're pushing the venous return of blood up through these little gates that only want to open up towards the heart. Then we're going to park up here in the shoulder. We're going to put 1 hand on top of the other, so a whole palm on top, and we're going to cup his shoulder. So instead of, have the fingertips down and then slow it down. The slower you go, the better.
Up
You get-
front of the shoulder down.
Yeah.
Back.
We're pushing him back as though we're pushing him out of the chair. So we're stretching that front pectoralis muscle and wrapping around the back. We're going to do it at exactly the same time, so don't speed ahead. Oh, good. You're slowing down. And then we're going around. So it should be that slow, everybody. You're starting in the front. We're up on the shoulder now. We're going around the back. We're having 1 hand on top of the other, coming around the front. Yeah, the slower the better. That's really good. And that's a very general stroke. The other principle is we go from general to specific. So now we're going to take the thumbs and we're going to do a complicated stroke. So we're going to come a little in the front here and practice 1 thumb doing a circle that overlaps the other thumb. So we're pushing up and out, up and out, anywhere in the chest here, just so I practice up and out. And what I'm going to do is come around and put my hands on your side. And then I'm going to get you to put your thumbs on top of mine. And we're going to take you for a ride. So you just get the feel of it. So whenever people are passing along in the family, like with the boys, just get them to ride on your thumbs there. And you can actually be a bit more on the tips, even though you've got fancy nails. Yeah. The nice thing is his shirt is going to protect him from any nail therapy. That's good. You keep doing that. I'll keep doing this. How's our pressure comparing, Ed? Are we similar?
Rebecca's pushing harder.
I see. And that's very common, that you'll get in there and have that enthusiasm. So really get them out of the way. Okay, here we go. Now we're going down the arm. So we let I call it the damp armpit technique, but you let your fingertips slip underneath the armpit. Then the thumbs are on the top here of this muscle called the deltoid. And we're just doing that alternate thumb leading. And then we're going up and down this muscle. So the pressure is always up towards the heart, even though we're backing up. And then we're going forward. So we just want to get all at the top of this arm opened up. It's like uncorking the bottle is the idea behind our technique. So we're going to always start where the arm attaches to the trunk of the body and open up the circulation. And then we're going to work our way down. So let's do his biceps in the front here. And you can drop your elbows, Ed. Don't help us. you can keep your hands on your lap, but you're starting to wing out there helping us. So make sure that you ask your partner always just drop the elbow. It's different than saying relax. It's too much of a concept.
Right.
Say just drop your elbow. Then they've got that direct. And then
Drop
it.
Working on it.
Just drop it.
And don't shake your partner. Just use the words. And here we go, down to the elbow. And then this is where we're going to linger along in the elbow itself. So Ed, I'm going to roll your hand out like that. And this is where you could sit down on the job too. And you'll see that when you're sitting, you have a better angle for working that inner elbow. Yeah. Does that make a difference? Yeah. For me, I can also do one knee down and one knee up, and it puts me at this kind of level. So, because this is the most important joint here with Ed's arms to loosen up. It's really, and remember, slow it down, half speed. There you go. That's better.
I feel very good in that spot.
And then we're going to switch over, and you can have mine. And when you're teaching anybody else, it's always good to switch it up, and then he doesn't get lopsided in the touch and technique of just one person. Yep. And then what we can do is we can take his arm a little lower, and we kind of can wrap it, and here you can go right in. And I'll show you a couple of techniques for, you can wedge it with your, like that. You can put it on the, yes.
Wedging with my elbow.
Yes, and then you can put it on the other side. So we're going to wrap his hand so it naturally fits around there, and then wedge it so that you're still, could be hands free. Yes, and you've got it wedged in there. Perfect. And then let's wedge on this side.
Wedging on it.
There we go.
Closest.
And we've got a grip with our forearm more on his wrist. Come a little, there you go. And it might, yeah. And drop your elbows in. There you go. And then right in there. So you really can get tiny little strokes. You could use some oil or liniments, like peppermint oil or tiger balm. How's our pressure comparatively?
Very similar right now.
Yeah. Okay, and now this is where we ask them where the favorites would be. Would it be outside, inside, in here, in the back?
I'd say on the outside.
It will go fingertips.
Outside elbow?
Yeah.
Okay. And around with the fingertips. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, it's an upward direction when you're taking two fingertips, the pointer and the middle finger, and make little circles around all the bony bumps on the elbow. And that'll feel really good when we do it for you because you're on a computer sometimes. Okay, and then you can drop your arm again, and we're going to do the forearm. And again, alternate thumb meeting. We go one thumb circle, the other, and we come all the way down. And these are flexors that go right down into here to make a fist. So we really just want to keep working them. Boy, you've got strong arms yet.
Forearms are meaty.
They're
They're
good.
used a lot.
They would be good swimming muscles for sure. And then you can push with a single hand and really milk it up. Is that too much? Should we use some oil? And then again, you could do
Feels very good.
single-handed. Good. We're getting good reviews.
Mm-hmm.
And single-handed thumb kneading, so you can hold the wrist with one hand and massage. Very nice, very nice. And then switch. And when you switch, this thumb gets into the back of the arm. Yeah, that's really good. Are we doing?
Very good.
Good job. Yay. Wonderful. Okay, here's the favorite. So it's kind of looks like a hold up, but just let your elbow drop in. This kind of thing. And then I do a digital compression. So all we're doing is like a pull compress along the base of the hand. And that's these strong attachments of muscles of the hand. But it's amazing how just this kind of munchy alternate pushing and alternate work up into the palm is so relieving. if you didn't do anything but just this part for a few minutes, it gives the hand a whole new life, so that if you're gripping, it just feels like you lock, like with skiing and things like that. It's amazing how it takes the pain away, the stiffness away. And you could do this forever, right?
Yes.
It's a good
yes,
one.
It's very nice.
Yeah. And then he's got a nicely relaxed hand, but pretend you aren't. Straighten those out. And then we can see better getting the base of each finger. Yep. Yeah. And then again, slower you go, the deeper you get. Yeah, there we go. Nice. And then calm down. And this thumb is so well developed on him. This is, I wouldn't want to be thumb wrestling. He'd win. Okay. And down in here. Great. And then there's a favorite of mine. I'm going to show you first. I'm going to get your hand and then let it relax. And I'm going to take my fingertips as I'm holding your hand with my two hands, and I'm working right in to that palm, and then I pull it out. So I'm rounding it like that, and then I'm extending it like that. So, and I'm not sure what to call that, but if you pull out
Hand peeler.
hand peeler, that's good. And with underneath, I run it like a piano. So alternate the digital compression. Yep. Yeah, very good. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yep, yep. That's good. Yep. So it looks like this. They're going in a piano kind of motion, working all around with that alternating fingertip kneading into the base of the fingers. And when you're in a restaurant, airplane, or traveling, and it's not dangerous in the car, you can do this right side by side.
Right.
You know, it's the kind of thing that works really well when you do it this way and not facing the person. Nice work. There we go. Okay, and I'll switch back with you. And how would you like us to finish? Do you have any favorites? Elbows, hands, shoulder?
Probably hands, I think.
Uh-huh. And this one,
Those thumbs
or
and
this
that-
one,
That one there.
this one here?
Yes.
Okay, great. And it's always good to ask, even though you think you know this person well, it's always good to ask. And sometimes they're just kind of going to sleep on you because they're relaxing. So it's nice to perk them up and ask about pressure. And I've been asking, but not specifically. So saying, how's the pressure? Given that question, they'll respond. Other than that, people don't usually speak up.
The pressure's very good.
How's the pressure? That was good. Thank you. Rebecca, any questions?
No.
You did a great job. Thank you. And then I use a light reflex stroking to finish. And it's very much a brain teaser and confuser. If you've got anything that was firm and maybe leaving a lasting impression, like you could tell where our thumbprints were, all we have to do is this very light reflex stroking. So I'm just taking my fingertips from up in Ed's shoulder and with both hands coming down at the same time to his fingertips. Then I start back up again. And the other way to do it is like one hand is going down and the other hand is at the top and starting. So it's one right after the other. And then my friend always said, do the magic fingers. So you do that. Yeah. And it's a really interesting neurological confusion, especially if I'm doing anything to do with stroke recovery. I'm always giving both sides to feel and scramble and send messages back and forth. Nice work. Great. And what we're going to do now is Rebecca's shoulders. And massaging Rebecca's shoulders are very much reaching forward. And we're going to do this in a bit of a lineup. I'm going to be on your shoulders. And we're going to do an any old squeeze all the way down the arm. And it just warms up your hands. Well, we just warmed up your hands. We did the pre-event. Made sure this massage was going to be even better. And how's the pressure? It's a pressure check.
The pressure,
Gauge.
pressure is good.
A little lower on the left hand.
Yeah, a little less, a little less.
Okay. And then what we're gonna do here, Ed, I'm just gonna squeeze up and hold it, hold it, hold it. Breathe deep, everybody. And as you breathe out, let go. And then we're gonna scoop up with a deep breath in and hold it, hold it. How's the pressure? Can we squeeze any more?
Well, the pressure actually feels good.
Good? Okay, and let go. And then one more. We always do at least 3 and scoop up. Yep. And let go. And Ed, you might want to try, there's a difference between when your arms are bent like that. Often when they're extended, you get more power. So you might want to wiggle forward in the chair so that, and you might want to sit a little further back, just so that you can lock that elbow. You can see it locking it up. So it's more like that instead of it bent. She might have to be a little further away. Yep, just so that you get more. Yeah, that's better. And then hold that and squeeze tight. Good. And then let go. Nice. And then what we're going to do is use your thumbs. And as I'm working with the digital compression, you can do the same. Yep. And we can flip that up. And you can work right up into the base of your skull. Yep. And even if there's an imbalance between your hands, it's amazing how it still will feel good on the outside, good on the inside. Yep. Okay, and then what you've done there, try and do that with this one. So just, that is so great the way you use that thumb. Yeah. That is neat. And do you do that with other things?
Yes, for sure.
It looks like you've accomplished that one. That's great. Then with your fingertips, Ed, we're going to do the sides of her neck like this. And I'll do that on you also. And this is really, really good for thank you and payback for sure, you know. But it's also very good when you're traveling. It's the kind of thing that often people are in one place for long periods of time and where they fall asleep in the car, that kind of thing. I'm working all around here. And in the work that you do, Rebecca, are you on a computer very much?
Yeah, half and half.
Half and half, like more than 2 hours a day?
Right now, yes.
In a work day? Okay. So then I would take those fingers, wrap them a little bit more around the front. Yep.
Here.
Yep. Is that too choky?
Nope.
Okay.
Maybe back
Because a
like
lot
that.
of people, they have it way back here, but actually there's all this tension here in those front muscles. And it's an upward motion, so reverse. Go the other way. Lift up. Yeah. That's better. That's really good. Yeah, that's it. Exactly. And you can go right up to that bottom of the ear there, like I'm doing on you. Yeah. And the most important thing is not to stay in one spot too long because you'll pull their hair. And especially when we're not using liniments and oils and that kind of thing, we want to make it so it's a neck massage that could be done anywhere and everywhere. Airports, gas stations, being able to have this as the dessert when you're at home or the before dinner drink to be able to refresh and relax. All of that is complemented with this power of touch. Good on the thumbs. Okay, and then let's see about the wake up call. So we're going to do some percussion and we're going to do this loose fingertip hacking. We're going to keep both hands together and see which ankle works for you. Yep, and you can go right over the top a little bit more forward. Yep, that's good. That's great. And it's really good for coordination with your own hands.
Yes.
You know, when they're different, you can have my side, I'll take your side. And nice. Those two fingers
They
like
don't
it.
work. They don't like to stay straight.
But it's amazing how when the other hand is working, this hand will cooperate more than being told to do it by itself. And then cupping, which is like, yeah, that's good. And all the way down. And you can lean forward with your elbows on your knees, Rebecca. We're going to work all the way down. That's good. That's good. That's great the way you bring that up. Very nice. And then this one is called pounding. And the only place we don't do it is right on the spine itself. And you could back up towards us. Yep.
And set up again or?
Yep. And we'll do in the shoulders here. And you can roll it towards yourself. Yep. That's good. And how is it when Ed's doing? What feedback did you give him?
I think that he worries about his left hand too much. It feels equal to me.
Oh, no, it's really good.
Yeah.
And yes, try this side too. Yeah. And keep that rolling.
Yeah.
You got it. Very nice. Okay, the one that goes like this. Those hands like this position.
Yeah.
This is a favorite for your left. And you just let the wrist go and flop it. So what I would do is just bring that one higher so it's got more bang to it. Yep, there you go. And that's a really good bilateral exercise for your arms. It really gets that functioning aspect coming up. Nice. And what would be a favorite? Remember we asked for favorites. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. The annual squeeze right now.
Oh, great.
This one right
We'll
here.
go for a beginning. Great.
Yeah, that one for sure.
Okay, we'll scoop up. And you can direct. I'll let you do the talking, Ed.
So breathe in. Relax.
Was that the same as breathe out?
Yes. So breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out.
And then we've got our finale. That light reflex stroking. Yep. And you can sit right back into that. Yep. And we can go all the way down her spine. And then we can do another one that goes down her arms and alternate. One down the back and one down the arms. And your wonderful dog is supervising this part, knowing that
His turn is
yours
coming.
next. Yeah. That's great. Wonderful finale. Thank you. Perfect. We're back to talk about homework. I have homework assignments. You can imagine what it would be. But what would you think your homework assignment would be, Rebecca?
Well, I feel like you intimated that during our massage. She said 10 minutes a day, every day. It's a lot.
We're looking forward to it.
Are we? I am.
So you're looking forward to getting rubbed the right way?
Yes.
Yeah.
By Ed. And Ed, what would you say would be, if you think creatively, there is the daily, you do me, I'll do you, 10 minutes each. What else do you think you could put into that creative mix for hands-on help?
For hands-on help? Well, I don't know, all of the massage in her upper shoulders and her arms and hands will be very nice. It's great for the connection, really, I would say. Probably as much as anything.
What kind of connection?
Put it like emotional and physical connection.
Do you want to say more about that?
I don't know if there's more to say. I mean, we don't seem to, oftentimes when we go for a walk, we're not walking and holding hands, for instance, so you don't get the same connection maybe that two able-bodied people will get. So it's good to have some physical touch and physical connection that way.
Yeah, because even it's hard to hug somebody.
Yes, it is.
It's not, it's like,
You're always
you're
sitting
always,
down.
and I'm always, yeah,
A lot of side hugs.
a lot of side hugs.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not the same. You don't get to see. I mean, we spend an inordinate amount of time together, more than any couple I know.
Yes.
But yeah, maybe
It's not
not a
much
lot
of
of this. We're not real PDA people either, so
What's PDA?
public displays of affection. Yeah, so it does, I mean, that is an important aspect that we probably will. And then that is it, because of the way that our lives have unfolded, part of that, you know, it's not comfortable to lay on the couch together. It's not comfortable, many positions that come naturally to couples, it's not comfortable. So, yeah, that
Yeah,
is
I
a
can
good.
see a great benefit.
And I was just thinking, I've learned that this moves, this front, and you can always climb on them for the chest
Yeah.
to chest hug,
Yes.
you know, which
Well,
is,
he can stand up. So if we're having, you know, in the mornings, yes, like it's only down. But if I need a good hug, he stands up and
mhm.
it's a good squeeze. But
And do you sleep in a double bed?
no king size bed.
But one bed?
One bed.
One
Uh-huh.
bed. Yes.
So that's great, because you were describing the
Yes.
lean over and squeeze.
Yeah, he's a
technique.
cuddler. I'm not. I need my space. He's right up beside me.
But I can give her a massage before we go to sleep.
Yes.
It'd be helpful that way.
Yeah.
And it gives Christmas new meaning and anniversaries new meaning, and how far can we extend the 10 minutes? So you folks, especially exchanging foot massages, because you've got the digital compression, you've got what the alternating squeezing is, and the alternate thumb kneading. All of those are adaptable to the lower extremity, just like what we did for the
Yeah.
upper extremity. And that would be wonderful to be able to get at each other's lower legs when you're watching a movie together.
There is some great techniques that would be very useful.
Yeah. I honestly feel like realistically, it'd probably be every other day, if we're being realistic.
Yes.
I do think 7 days a week is probably unrealistic just for our lives, but realistically, every other would be.
It's like I like to be at the gym every day,
Yeah.
but it is probably 5 out of 7.
Yeah.
And with my roommate, we exchange before we go to sleep, and it's even 2 or 3 times a week makes a huge
Yeah.
difference for her squeezing. And then the scalp work too, you know,
Yeah.
being able to get that fingertip for the head and scalp.
Yeah.
So don't leave out the fur on the top
Yeah.
at the same time.
So tough for.
Mhm.
Certainly makes a big difference, I guess. It's been a long day. My shoulders are much more relaxed now than they were when we started this a couple hours ago.
Yeah, and feel free to have champagne while you have your
Make it a date night, yeah.
Yeah, I find that the touch and in good hands date is definitely a favorite.
Yeah.
It makes the meals taste better and the drinks taste better.
Yeah.
But thank you for helping us show other people, not only the techniques that we did today, but wheelers in the north are special. You know, a lot of people don't stay in the north.
Yeah.
They migrate because it's easier on the wheels. So being able to have ways to encourage people, if they're going to find themselves in a chair of any kind, where there's snow, it's definitely a Canadian story, but the more north you go, the more important it is that we have this kind of connection.
Yeah, and it is hard, like, I think Ed is, I do push him to do more things than he would do normally. Like, if it's a nice winter day, I get him to dress up, and it takes a lot of effort, and we go for a walk just to be out in the sun, you know, if we've cleared the path. So we do try, if it's a nice winter day, we go out and he gets some of that vitamin D, but I know it's effort. It's just more effort.
But a huge shout out to Fort St. John, because the paths and the clearing, even in the winter, they
Yeah, they do a
they
good
do a
job.
wonderful job of keeping our streets and sidewalks
Yeah.
clear. Like our walking path is, like they say, if it's not too cold, we can just always go on our walking paths.
Yeah.
Right behind our home, so.
I just push maybe a little bit in the street, but that's it.
Yeah.
And we do, yeah, we try to get out as much as we can, even in the winter. It's just so, there's so much sun here. It is really good for you.
Can you tell me the significance of Lori Slater? What does that
Oh,
mean to
A
you?
huge shout out for Lori Slater, because without her, I don't think this city would be as accessible as it is. If I go back, probably 20 years ago, maybe, she came to city council. My brother was on city council at the time. And she came and said, like, our city has no letdowns at the intersections. And she asked to challenge the councilors to go and tour the city in a wheelchair. And so Pat, and I don't know if he was the only one, but I know he was one of, went with her in a wheelchair, and they would come to corners all over town. There was no letdown. So when he rolled a wheelchair at one point,
Just
she just
keeping the sidewalks clean.
Yes,
Yeah,
she
just
really-
debris.
opened the eyes of all people on council, and was able to get the year of the mayor. And like she was a tireless advocate for making our city accessible, and they've done, I would say, quite a good job of it, a very good job, in fact. It's a very accessible city now, and we owe a lot to her for that. I wish I could be as strong as her as going to advocate for different things. Lots of it just sit down and accept what's there, and she didn't. I'm very thankful.
And I'll pass along that inspiration to the other wheelers that we'll have in this series. Becca, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think you summed it up. Oh, I always have things to add. I mean, you only notice those things once a year with somebody that's disabled. But everywhere you go now, you're looking, and even the buildings that they design, you're like, they didn't consult a disabled person. They consulted code, like accessibility code, which isn't the same as consulting a disabled
Yeah.
person. But yeah, you notice those things so much more.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, we've traveled in Europe, and like Canada is, people don't understand how far ahead Canada is. We have an inferiority complex, but we are far, far ahead as far as accessibility and those kinds of things. And yeah, Europe is hard to get around.
Well, you've made wheeling in Northern Canada more exciting for folks like yourself, and thank you for being the first that I could practice.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
It was fun.
We've enjoyed it.
Thank you. Put our hands in on that one.
Great.
We are wheelers of the north, and we are here today, healing with our hands all across our land, because we are wheelers of the